Hi everyone, welcome to the channel dedicated to sharing the profound insights and wisdom of Andromedan contactee Alex Collier. If you're new here, you're in for a journey that expands your mind and consciousness, bringing you closer to understanding the messages from the fifth density Andromedan extraterrestrials. For those returning, we're grateful for your continued support. Before we dive into today's enlightening content, we have a small favor to ask. If you find value in the knowledge shared in this video, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and clicking the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your engagement helps us amplify Alex Collier's message, allowing us to reach a larger audience with these vital messages. We'd also love to hear from you, so please engage with the comments below. Whether it's a question, your thoughts, or even just an emoji for the sake of engagement, every comment counts. We read every single comment, and your feedback is incredibly valuable to us, as it all contributes to our mission of expanding this community. So please don't hesitate to leave your thoughts below. Additionally, if you'd like to support us further, consider giving a super thanks tip by clicking the heart with the $sign. This small gesture allows us to continue bringing you more of Alex's messages, unfiltered and directly from his lifelong experiences with the Andromedans. Today's video includes a compilation of several of the many important questions Alex Collier has received over the past few years, so please sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video.
Do you know the significance of O-negative blood type? I've read a lot already. I'm interested in any purpose or meaning in regard to ascension or healing, etc. Thank you for everything. Always, Ray.
You know, I've had some stuff said to me in the past, and there are people that espouse that it's reptilian, and it's not. It is off-world. It did come from off-world. That much I do know. How significant it is, I don't know. I find it interesting that O-negative is a universal donor. Even though it has to take its own blood type, but yet it can give to others. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, what I do know for a fact is that it originally came from off-world. Okay? But it is not regressive, it is not reptilian, it isn't any of that. But it is off-world. And many different human species are O-negative, off-world. Not all, but many are. So, if you're O-negative, you're an alien. Welcome to the party.
Yeah, well, if you're an alien, are there A-positive aliens, though? I mean, are there? I mean, because it's a simian thing, isn't it? Are there positive aliens?
They could all be, you know? They could all be.
If there is a direct correlation between spiritual evolvement and technological advancement, how is our secret space program able to create weapons capable of ushering and universal tyranny? And is it, is it the secret space program that starts on Earth, the medium of tyranny that the Andromedans have been looking for? Is that the thing?
That's a great question. And we're going to answer that one for you today, Lawrence.
Hurrah, hurrah.
We're going to answer that question for you today. Here's my understanding, and I'll let you know right up front. I don't know all the ins and outs, and I am sure that there are bits and pieces of this information that other people have that I don't have. But my understanding is that the original intention to create the space program was not only to explore, but also to protect the Earth And in the event that something was coming that was going to be very catastrophic, that chances are we could find someplace else to go so humanity could survive. I believe that was the original intent, and that was the bill of goods that was sold originally to everyone who got into the program. This is why we have to do this. It changed and evolved after that. The dialogue began to change. The conditions in which the astronauts could continue to maintain their rank and their own safety in space changed as guidelines changed. What happened was, after they got off the planet, all the rules changed. And in fact, many of the astronauts that are part of the program, cosmonauts maybe is another word for it, many of them are still not fully aware of all the things that are going on out there. For example, the asteroid Cirrus in the asteroid belt, where the manufacturing of much of the weaponry is being done or was being done. It was compartmentalized. Equipment and pieces were made in different parts of that asteroid. There were things also being done on Mars. There were also things being done on Phobos. There were components being made, and then they were being taken to another ship where they would be put together, tested, and then an alien group was selling them to other rogue renegade alien groups. Most of this was not being done in and around our space fleet because they understood that there would be pushback. They understood that those of them who are us, who are human, who are connected to Earth, would have a real issue with this. In fact, what really brought this whole thing to a head, and how many of our astronauts and cosmonauts found out that this was going on, was through a contact between a benevolent race and one of the ships of our space fleet. Many of the astronauts and cosmonauts who were said to have been retired and being brought back to Earth were in fact never brought back to Earth. They were being blown out of an airlock into space. The powers that be that run this program, and the extraterrestrials that run this program, they gave the entire appearance that these cosmonauts and astronauts were being processed out of the fleet, and that they would be going back to finish the remainder of their life either on Earth or the Moon or Mars. They were in fact being killed. Nobody was coming back here. They weren't going to do it. It wasn't happening. They found that information out from this benevolent group. They also found out about the weaponry. Those on our space fleet ship that had this conversation were basically given information about what was truly going on. And from there, it went from ship to ship to ship to ship. And there were issues. There were huge issues, to the point that our space fleet, that which is manned by Earth cosmonauts and astronauts, had to be quarantined for a time because they got really upset. Folks, there's a lot going on. I mean, there is a lot going on. And what's interesting is that you would think that the more we research this, the more we delve into it, the more we try to gather all the pieces together to make the whole thing fit. What ends up happening is that it becomes more of a mystery as opposed to a bigger picture, because it's multidimensional. The actions that are occurring here are multidimensional. The reality is multidimensional in its structure. Okay, it affects not only third density, but it affects fourth density and it affects fifth density. See, we're just looking at it through the prism of third density. We don't see the other pieces, the other components, but it's there, and that's why the mystery deepens the more we find out about this, because we don't know how to put all the pieces together. And the more we find out about third density, it only opens up more questions, which lead us to fourth. And the more we figure out what that is, it leads us to fifth, to find out how this thing all comes together. It's extraordinary. It really is. It's absolutely extraordinary. And if for those of you who have chosen to go down that rabbit hole, or those of you who choose to go down that rabbit hole, it's extraordinary because now you're training your mind to think holographically. There's a lot to be said for that. There is a lot to be said for that. Especially when you get that and your entire focus is on creating what you want. Okay, it's extremely beneficial. So Lauren, the weaponry that was being built by us, or in third density, was capable of being used in fourth. And I'm not sure in fifth. I don't know how it directly relates to fifth. That hasn't been shared with me. But the tyranny shows up, obviously. But tyranny can come in many different forms. It doesn't necessarily come at the point of a gun, or a laser weapon, or a photon blaster, okay, or a lightsaber. It can come in many different forms. So, there you go.
Hi, Alex. If you look at the situation that we're now in from a biblical point of view, would you agree that we are indeed in the end times? If so, are we in the final years or at the end?
Okay, my take on it is no, this isn't the end times. It may be the end of a lot of bullshit. It may be the end of a way of life that hasn't served humanity, that was destructive to humanity and to the earth. I could see it in that light, but I am incredibly optimistic about the future of humanity once we have moved through all of this stuff and we've achieved spiritual enlightenment on the other side. I'm incredibly enthusiastic. I don't see this as the end of anything. I see it as the beginning of a whole new life and a whole new chapter for humanity. That's how I see it. And that's what I'm focusing on. I'm not focusing on the end of anything. Why? Why bother? If this is the end, why bother doing anything?
Exactly. So, like the end time of this moment in this webinar, the end times is the end of one chapter and the just before the beginning of the next. We can't start the next one until we've ended this. And I'd say we're pretty much near the we're pretty much in this moment.
Yeah, it's right in front of us. The new beginning is right in front of us.
I hear high-pitched tones. I hear high-pitched tones sometimes. I personally, Jeremy, hear loads of high-pitched tones all the time. Sometimes it sounds like a kind of Morse code. What would you know this may be? What would you know what this may be for? XX.
Well,
kiss, kiss.
Well, it could be a physical affliction, or what it more than likely is that when you hear tones like that, and you're especially out and about, and you'll turn your head just in a way, and then you'll hear it on the right, or you'll hear it on the left. Typically, what that means is that spirit is near you. So, could be a past loved one, or it could be a spirit guide, could be someone that protects you, guides you, that's in the spirit realm. Typically, that's kind of where it is, if it is not a physical affliction. Okay, it usually means spirits near you, and you're picking up their frequency. Okay, which means you're doing very well.
Is this thing when everything goes quiet in one ear and then you suddenly hear a single pure tone?
Yeah, that means spirit's near.
Oh man!
And then what if I were you, the woman who's asking this question, I would stop and I would get really quiet if I can, and then ask them to share with you who they are and what their reason is for visiting you, and see if you can create a dialogue. It would only benefit you.
Alex seems so serious today. Have we moved into the next phase of this event?
Which event, if you had a clue, JP, which event she's referring to, what would that be?
I'm imagining this kind of September planetary crossing event, and well, you were saying December 16 to December 17, but other things are ramping up as well, aren't they?
Yes, they sure are.
And
not only see it, but you can feel it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the feeling is shit's got real.
Yeah.
If you could sum it up in 3 words,
Yeah, it's getting way too hot. And that's not hell, It is. Things are definitely ramping up. What's happening is that the dark side is cornered, and they are getting more aggressive, and they are becoming more irrational. And the sooner they start feeding off each other, the safer the rest of humanity will be. But we're not quite there just yet. Okay? They're not cornered enough.
Any tips on directions of cornering? Where are the weak spots that we can just lift up the corners of?
We need to put our focus on creating what we want, not delving into that realm and saying, okay, we're going to lift the lid off of this. Because in order to do that, we have to focus on that. We have to focus on the negative field in order to want to shift it and make a change or to get involved with it. That is not what the A's and the benevolents want us to do at all. They want us to focus. They don't even want us to focus on it.
Yeah,
they want us to focus on what we want. Okay, to create the new field, a positive field. That's what we need to focus on. Because all this negative field, it will implode on itself. But we're still in it, okay? We haven't had enough separation yet. But we have to keep focusing on what it is we want. What is it we want individually? What is it that we want for humanity? Not on the negative field of these morons who want to just destroy everything to maintain the illusion that they have power over anybody. Okay? And it is an illusion because they create money that's not real to have power over people. They create fear, which isn't real, to have power over everyone. They create these dire scenarios to create power over others that isn't real, because the soul is what's real. They have no control over the soul at all. Zero, zilch, nada. Okay? And that's the part we need to get. Humanity needs to get. We are a soul in a physical body, not a physical body that has a soul. It's the other way around. We are a soul, a spiritual being in a physical form. And they have no control over it. They really don't. Does that make sense to anybody? Does that make sense?
I mean, I get the whole we are energy, which is a soul, manifesting and animating a flesh body that it created around its own blueprint, kind of idea, so that we manifest ourselves. Our body's a result of our soul expression
Exactly.
into this reality. And
Exactly.
we grow like that soul is the tiny spark that happens within the seed and expanding out and spiraling out from there, kind of thing.
I inhabit this body because of my intent. JP inhabits his body because of his intent. You, out there listening, you are inhabiting your physical form. You are inhabiting your reality because of your personal intentions. Now, if you don't know what those intentions are, then you need to do the serious work of being inside and listening to that inner voice to get that information for yourself. What is your intention for being here? I can tell you it isn't because you lost a poker game, okay? It isn't because you lost the lottery. It isn't because you did something wrong. You chose to be in this physical form, in this physical vidya, this holograph, for a very specific reason, okay? You intended to be here. We all did. And it's up to you to find out that reason for yourself, if you really want to know.
I always find it something to do with the thing that people love doing, the thing they've always loved doing, and they can't not do, but they don't realize that that's their
There's a lot
thing.
of other dimensions you could be doing what you love to be doing. Why choose this one?
Good question. Why do you do that thing that you love to do? How does that connect with what's going on here? Very good. Alex, this is from Sabina. How to create the freedom with fewer births if 90% of population is completely unaware of everything you are talking about?
Well, I don't believe that 90% are completely unaware. And I think a lot more people in the back of their minds, they know, they're questioning, they're seeing. It could be that they're very secretly looking into these things and thinking about it. They just haven't had the courage to step forward because they themselves have poo-pooed a lot of this for so long that in order to genuinely look at this and say, wow, maybe there really is something to this, it would cause them to rethink their entire life, their entire perspective of how they look at life. And I think a lot of people are being forced into that space. They're being forced out of the little box they have because the box is coming undone. The hierarchy, governmental structure, religious structure of this planet is dissolving rapidly. And everyone has to look at themselves and what they think and what they feel and what they really believe in. And we just need to be there so that if someone you know comes to you and says, hey, what about this? You're in a calm space, a loving space to say, look, this is what I know. And this is what I think, but this is what I know. And you come from a place of inner knowing, a place of real inner strength, because you are totally connected to all that is. And that calmness, that quiet, resolute energy that you will have, they will pick up on it, they will cling to it, they will understand it, they will feel it, they will absorb it, and it will help them to go back to their families and say, look, here's what we think is happening. This is what we need to do. Everything will be okay. I mean, I'm just like you. I am having to do exactly these same things with people who don't know anything about this part of my life. There are people in my life who think aliens are ridiculous. They have no idea that I do this, that I talk, and that I'm an experiencer. They have none. And I don't even go there. Okay? But a lot of them are now talking to me about at least the political piece. And, you know, conversations that we had several years ago, they're like, you know, yo, dude, I got it. I see it now. It's going to be the same thing here with the ET piece, with the collapse of the religions. At least those parts of the religions that are completely fictitious, and they all have it. They all have it in them. They all have these built-in fictitious stories that were put in there for a result of control and manipulation. So that's all going to be exposed. That's all going to be dissolved. And what we want to do is we want to be able to give people hope and give them a hand and say, look, stand back up, get up off your knees. You need to empower yourself. You, the Creator, the Isness, God, Great Spirit, has given you everything you need. You just need to get really quiet and listen to your own inner voice, that inner guidance of yours, and you will get the answers to what you need. You have to empower yourself, because that's what leadership is. It's about the law of consistency. That's what it is. It's about creating a race of leaders, not followers. Who wants that crap? No one wants to be dependent on anybody else. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to drop that dependency on others, and we are going to become a place of a race of leaders. We have to try. We have to do the best that we can. And remember, only 4% of the people, of the population of the United States, started the revolution, fought the revolution, won the revolution, came up with a constitution, a Bill of Rights, a Declaration of Independence, and changed the world forever. That was 249 years ago. Okay? It hasn't been perfect. It hasn't been perfect. But that 4% created a brand new domain of knowing that has changed humanity forever. Okay, now we need to keep that momentum in positive field. We can't regress into negative field. So if it's 4% of us, if it's 6%, if it's 8%, if it's 10%, 12%, we have to do the work. We have to continue to move this field closer and closer to positive field. And if we're already in positive field, which I believe we are, we have to keep that momentum going to go deeper and deeper into positive field. Because if we were not in positive field, the elite, the powers that be, the regressive aliens wouldn't be so batshit crazy. And they are right now. They're all batshit crazy. Okay, they're losing it. So, you know, we have to keep up the work.
Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you found it insightful, please like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on future updates. If you have any questions relating to today's video, please also leave them below. We read all the comments and take on board what our viewers have to say about Alex Collier's work. Remember, your support helps Alex Collier's knowledge and the messages from the Andromedans reach more people. If you'd like to support the channel even more, you can give us a super thanks tip by clicking the heart icon with a $sign. It really helps our team bring you more content. Also, be sure to visit alexcollier.org to sign up for our regular email newsletter. It's the best way to stay updated with the latest news, exclusive content, and upcoming live webinars. For the latest insights from Alex Collier, check out alexcollier.live. And if you want to explore over 250 past webinars, head over to alexcollier.tv. Thank you for being a part of this journey and supporting Alex Collier's work. We couldn't do this without you, and we're genuinely grateful for your support. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the vast mysteries of our universe. If you would like to see the Andromedan contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we hold a live online seminar every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information on upcoming live webinars, please visit alexcollier.org.